r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What was the moment you knew your relationship was over? When I realized I dreaded Fridays, our standard date night, and saw it as something I needed to get past before I could start enjoying the weekend. She poisoned my cat, Mr. Noodle. Rest in peace. Edit. Thanks everybody for the support, and if you're asking, yeah, I got the police involved. My ex and I were not living together, but he had a key to my place. I told him that I was gonna go see my parents for the weekend, but then changed my mind last minute because I started feeling sick. I forgot to tell him and just went home after work and went to bed. I woke up around 10 p.m. to get a glass of water, and while I was in the kitchen I heard someone fumbling at the door with the lock. I freaked out because I lived on the 17th floor, so if it was a break-in, I was screwed. All of a sudden he walks in, dragging a tipsy girl in behind him. I just stood there while he tried to make up some sort of excuse as to why he was there. The girl was pretty shocked too. When after 7 years, a particularly cold conversation, and with tears in my eyes I said, "I just want you to love me." And she said, "Well, I don't, and don't you feel pathetic for having to ask?" Edit. Thank you so much for the kind replies everyone. It means a lot. This was 5 years ago now and I am doing so much better. The best love is self-love. When she came up on caller ID and my first thought was ugh. I had a similar feeling in my first marriage. I'd come home, turn on our street, see her car already in the driveway, and have the same feeling. Ugh. She had picked on me for months, constantly criticizing everything. I couldn't do anything right. I tried. I kissed her ass and apologized for every single perceived wrongdoing. After months one day I told her, calmly, "You're mean to me." She blew up. Veins came out and she did that weird growl yelling thing and told me she'd cut my throat and burn down my house. I left with my kids to my parents' house. Came back the next day, she was gone. Haven't seen her since. And strangely, my anxiety is all but gone. I would always be the one to initiate talking and taking part in activities together. I realized I was the only one putting effort in. 3 weeks before we broke up, she described the kind of guy she would date if we broke up. She described her coworker and I honestly thought they had hooked up by this point. To my delight, he was a good noodle and never wanted to be more than work friends with her. When he found out she left me to be with him, he reached out and told me he was sorry for everything even though it wasn't his fault. I told him I'm not holding anything against him, but thanked him for being a good person. When I saw how she completely changed when her boss was around, she became much more pleasant, flirty, and amenable. That's when I realized the only reason she was dating me was in hopes it would make her boss jealous enough to leave his wife for her. Everything starts an argument. You can see it in their eyes when they don't love you anymore. I'll never forget that feeling. I was at my best friend's wedding. When he saw his bride walking down the aisle, he had a grin so big it looked like it could have exploded right off of his face. He was so happy to be marrying this person. And when I thought about my now ex-girlfriend, I realized that I just didn't feel that way about her. I will say, when I married my wife, I was grinning like an idiot. Found nude pictures of her and some other dude on the family camera and they were taken on our couch in our living room in our house. The day my mom passed away, the coroner hadn't even come for her body yet. With zero consideration on how I felt and what I was going through, my ex-fiance thought it was a great idea and a good time to tell me he has been cheating on me for the last 6 years, and how sorry he was for it. He wasn't sorry he did it, but he's sorry because the other woman had lied to him about who she really was, and he wanted me to comfort him because he felt betrayed by her. When I promptly broke up with him, he asked, "Wait, is this really goodbye? How could you do this to me now?" The moment he accidentally sent me a text that was supposedly meant for someone else, making plans to hook up at his house. My only response to that was, "Okay, be safe." I added quotes because I suspected that he did this on purpose to try and get me to break up with him, expecting some sort of angry response from me. He didn't get that, although I did get an earful from him a couple weeks down the line about how he never found me attractive physically or romantically. To which I responded, okay, and never talked to him again. To this day, I will never understand why some people choose to play games rather than just be upfront. No matter, I'm now happily married to an amazing person. When she started being cold to me, and being unsure about our relationship, then she started talking about this guy from her class. You know the rest. When she chose the night before my finals, exactly 2 AM finals were at 8 AM, to confess to cheating basically. Ruined my final exams that sem. When I was going through a miscarriage and he couldn't take me to the ER because he was in fantasy leagues and football was on. He stopped talking to me 3 days into a 3-week holiday. I made the best of it. Once home, the silent treatment continued for another 3 weeks. He rolls over in bed one morning and starts talking like nothing happened. I should have ended it long before, but that was the moment I knew it was over. He had a can of drink, asked if anyone wanted any. We were in a group. I said yes please, so he poured it in the bin. Sounds minor, but this was the last thing after a lot of crap. When we were arguing for the umpteenth time and I lost the will to continue, I usually begged her to stay, but I just told her to go. Hanging out with them feels often like a chore than something you're excited about. Walking on eggshells to avoid them getting mad. They don't match your efforts like they used to. Noticing they don't listen when you're talking. They don't feel like home anymore. They download Tinder and see people. They cheat on you. When you feel alone and they're right next to you. When I found out she was sending nudes to people on Discord. Had a gut feeling it would go past just pictures and I was right. When she said, "You don't look like you are going anywhere with your life." I was 18 in the middle of college. Where the hell was I supposed to be at that point? When she repeatedly slammed her head through the wall claiming a demon was telling her to do it, and then threatened to call the cops and say I beat her up. Me. Why do we fight so much? Oh, because as long as you're fighting I know you care. Broke up with her on the spot. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.